Alright, so I just hopped over to this current playthrough that I'm going, and this is a tech playthrough. So this is me going as a tall empire where I am just overwhelming in technology compared to everyone else, but I am smaller than everyone else. Although I look pretty big in comparison, that's just because my research has allowed me to gain enough empire sprawl that I can expand this big without it becoming a hindrance on my tech and research base. So right now, the Covenant and the Farron block are currently in a federation together. So if I look here in the contacts list, go up and put to friendlies and hostile. If I go down to the Covenant, right here, they are currently in the Federation, a member of the Star Compact, the Farron block, and they are currently at war with me and one other empire, because I just declared war on him for this territory up here, because after I found the Voltamar home system, I really wanted it, because home systems for fallen empires are very, very useful, especially when doing a tall empire base. If I was doing a wide playthrough, I would most likely have already expanded all the way down here, and most likely would have already taken most of this area before they expanded into it. Although my allies are the Separatists right now and the Predator guilds, they are in a tight spot with the other empires over here, and the galactic balance is not shifting in my favor too much, because I'm at a 1v2 right now against these two empires. Although I'm holding my own, it still becomes a matter of me being in two places at one time, which is very difficult. So let's just go to my main fleet right here, which is at one of their planets. Not at one of their planets. I thought this was. Let me just send them up to this planet right here. Going to go to this orbit, and I'm going to go down to my ground troops that I have already queued up. Going to hit them and enter orbit as well. Let's hit play.
Construction project concluded.
I'll show you. For traditions, I've already got expansion, domination, supremacy, harmony, prosperity, diplomacy, discovery, and I have all the ascension perks already queued up and ready to go. So since I am a synthetic race, I'm completely robotic, so I got the flesh is weak and synthetic evolution. I also got Voidborn, Master Builders, Shared Destiny, and Internal Vigilance. And I would have got Master Build or Galactic Wonders for this playthrough, but I just so happened my home system when I spawned in was right next to a ruined Dyson sphere, which I'm currently in the process of repairing. It costs 20,000 alloys right here, and I saw that as my chance that I can choose something that will help me in a defensive way, so I went and ended up choosing Internal Vigilance, which allows me to get 25% damage to Starbase, 25% hull points to Starbase, defense platforms 25% damage, and then 5 more defense platforms per Starbase. So if I look at this bastion right here, and I select on it, this is completely filled out with gun batteries. I can upgrade it to a Citadel, which is the last level of space station. I can also add defense platforms onto it, which increase the defense level of it. So that way now, you can see the little defense platform right there, which is hanging off of my Citadel itself. But now I'm going to go back over to my shipyard production plant, which I usually like to have 2 or 3 of these in a playthrough, just because it allows me to pump out ships insanely fast. Like, I will be able to, let's get onto this fleet right here. Let's hit reinforce. So I just put 4,000 into it, and if we go over here, right, and we look at the shipyards themselves, we can see that they are already building most of the fleet that I just queued up instantaneously. And if I were to build a gateway right here, they would all jump to the gateway and then jump to my gateway that's closest to my allies. So as you can see now, they're approaching
Construction
97%.
project concluded.
All the ships just pop into existence once being built. And now they're going to instantly head
Research
for
concluded.
my fleet and reinforce it. Just finished researching something else. I'm going to get more capacity, which increases my sprawl. So now they're going to end up going all the way over here into this area and reinforcing this fleet over here. And it looks like there's
Research
enemy
concluded.
fleet here, along with a 9K space station.
Initializing hostile engagement protocols.
And depending on the types of ships and the
Construction
technology, since I'm doing a tall Empire build, my technology is a lot more advanced than theirs, so these battles end up being a little bit more one-sided, but the problem being is that since I am tall and they're somewhat wide, it becomes a fact that they can outproduce me in ships, so my tech doesn't mean anything at that point. As that battle rages on, let's go over here and let's look at a habitat really quick, just because I haven't shown that. This is what a habitat looks like. It'll give entertainment jobs, researcher jobs, cleric jobs, housing, and they're pretty much just, they're essentially as you would expect from a habitat up in space. This one just so happens to be over a decimated world. Some flak artillery.
Construction project concluded.
Alright, so now that the space station has been taken out,
Construction project
we're
concluded.
currently bombing the planet,
Construction project
and I will look
concluded.
and see they do not have enough forces to defend against my ground force, so I'll grab my ground force right here, and I will land armies. The armies are being landed right now on the
Commencing
planet,
planetary incursion initiative.
and it is essentially not a fight at this
Research
point, just
concluded.
because of how strong my robot armies are against the enemy.
Planetary incursion
And
initiative.
right now I'm currently
successful.
running out of consumer goods, so I'm going into the galactic market and buying more. So now this planet is currently under my control. I can go over to the war just to see how things are going. And I am currently minus 51% away from being able to accept my war demands, and 26 away from being able to settle for
Construction project concluded.
what I have taken so far, which are these systems over here. So if I were to want to win this, I would want to either rush another one of their planets,
Research concluded.
or try and take as much territory as I possibly can. Maybe on my way up to High Charity, but that, with my current fleet power, I do not believe that I will be able to get all the way up to High Charity and make it back to my space intact. So I'm probably going to fall back for now, have a secondary fleet come up here and sit on one of the choke points to these lower systems so I can hold on to them. And then I will bring my big fleet down and start attacking the Farron block and fight the war that I know I can win,
System
and
survey
hope that everything
concluded.
goes well. Currently looking at it right now, you can see my species and how modified they are. Let's see, create template. Robots are completely different from biological pops when it comes to their traits, what they can do, and stuff like that. And if we look right here, you can see what factions look like. This faction right here gives me 2.58 influence. I currently produce 12 influence per turn, which is mainly because when I go over to edicts, I have, where is it? Very bottom. Since I've completed all of the traditions, you can use unity at the end to increase specific parts of your empire for the greater good. Like if I'm running low on minerals, I can add 33% minerals. So now you can see up here is 204, And then as soon as the month takes over in the bottom left, as soon as it goes to 30 and it adds that, up to
Research concluded.
333. Just from me spending a little bit of my Unity that I've been saving up. Get some planet build speed. And I'll currently show you what my capital world looks like. Capital world. Here's how you terraform worlds. I do not have a machine world that I can turn into because those are only hive minds. If I look at the surface,
concluded.
this is what it looks like with a lot of research labs, alloy foundries, consumer good plants. We have some Ministry of Productions, which increases the amount of alloys and consumer goods that I produce on the planet, energy, how many districts I have, and right now I'm 7 people over my cap, but I'm currently not completely full on that, so I'm going to have to increase the amount of housing I have on this planet somehow, or I can go over to resettle. Apparently cannot go over to resettle. Yeah, let's go to this planet real quick. This planet just currently got up to increase the amount of power districts it has as my second colony that I ever got. And for some reason my resettle is not happening. I believe that is something to do with the current war that I'm at. Although I'm not sure, I'm probably going to have to look into the reason why I'm unable to resettle my pops. Although it doesn't really matter to me, it's just something that I would like to be able to do. Then up here we can see strategic resources, and pretty much you don't want to go negative on strategic resources, because then you're going to be running out of all your materials that you're making using them, and that can end up collapsing your entire government as you know it. And right here is pretty much the end of the tutorial. I don't believe there's anything else that I haven't already stated, and if there is, it is most likely a small detail such as dealing with leviathans, something along those lines. Certain paths that can pop up enemies that block your way, like this little tiny 560 power fleet that's blocking a desert world. I do not currently have any planets that I can show you how to colonize, although it's pretty self-explanatory. You just go up to it, you select the planet that you want to colonize, then you would it would bring you to colonize planet, and then once you go over to colonize, it'll give you the option to choose between all of your different types of species that you have to colonize it. It'll cost
Construction project
alloys,
concluded.
food, consumer goods, depending on whatever type of colony ships your species specifically chooses for colonizing planets. And that is my Stellaris tutorial, and hope you enjoyed.